I am Dr. Kiki Ramsey, and we are going to be talking about the 3 most important questions that will help you discover your purpose in life. These are questions that truly has helped hundreds of my coaching clients discover their true purpose in life as well. Because here's the thing, when you know your purpose in life, life gets so much better. When you know your purpose in life, things get so much easier. You can make more money. You can have more time freedom. There's so many things that can come about when you actually know your purpose in life. But before we jump in, I really want to go over my definition of purpose in my acronym. I created an acronym because I really felt like people needed to understand what purpose truly is. So P stands for proclaim the promise of God in your life. We are so scared of what people have to say about our dreams and hopes that we actually hold it inside. We don't tell anybody. A lot of times what I hear people saying is, Dr. Kiki, if I tell people, then people are going to steal my idea. Listen, that's not how it works, right? It's got to be given to you. What's theirs is theirs and what's mine is mine. But there's enough room at the top. So you need to proclaim the promises of God in your life. And here's what I also say. It says in Jeremiah 29:11, which is my favorite verse. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. God has already planned for you to have a future and a hope. He's already done that for you. He understands every thought. He hears every prayer. He hears every cry. He knows the plans. He has big and amazing plans for you. It is your job and your opportunity to believe that. So that's number 1. That's P. You must proclaim the promise of God in your life because it's there. You unlock the dreams inside of you. Most of us have dreams, but we are too scared to unlock them for fear that they may not happen. You got to put that fear aside, take that padlock off your dreams, because without that, how are you supposed to tap into what God has made you to do? Okay? R is recognize that you were made for greatness. Every last one of you. If you are under the sound of my voice, you were made for greatness. It is time for you to stop playing small. It's time for you to step up and take up your mantle and really play big. Play like you know that you matter. P, pursue your passions. A lot of women downplay what they're passionate about because we look at other people, we try to look around and see what other people are, passionate about and everything like that. That doesn't have anything to do with you. The only thing that you need to do is figure out what you're passionate about. O is overcome whatever challenges come your way. You know, without a shadow of a doubt that challenges are coming. You might be sitting in the midst of a challenge right now. And that's okay, because when it comes to your purpose, you will figure out how to overcome that challenge. S, serve the world with your gifts. It is time for you to serve the world with the gifts that you actually have, because each of us has superpowers. We all have superpowers. So it's time to serve the world with your gifts. And then E, embrace the life you were meant to live. So many of us think that everybody is out here struggling. That's not the truth. Everybody is not struggling. Let me say it again. There are so many people out here in the world who are not struggling. I believe in thriving. I believe that we all have the ability to thrive and not struggle. And so this is your time to learn how to embrace the life that you were meant to live. Without further ado, let's hop into these questions. And like I said, there are more purpose-driven and passion-driven questions in my book, which is called Get Courageous Now, Woman's Guide to Finding Her Passions and Purpose in Life. Or you can actually go to Amazon and get it, or you can go on my website and download this chapter for free. But here are the 3 that I think are the most fitting, and the reason why I think that it's so important for you to understand these questions, because they have led so many of my clients to their purpose in life. Question number 1 that I think is one of the most important questions that you need to ask yourself in order to discover your purpose in life. And that is, what makes you cry? What makes you angry? What makes you so sick to your stomach that you can't stand it? Your purpose may lie rooted in that. And I'm gonna give you an example. I grew up sleeping on a couch in the crack house while my mom was, upstairs getting high. That was the thing that made me cry. That was the thing that hurt me the most in my life, was that my mom had succumbed to an addiction. And if any of you know anything about addiction, you would know that it is hard. It is difficult. And I knew that my mom didn't want to be in that place. But I also knew that addiction was so hard. So I went to school, I majored in child development and family studies. And over that time, I was helping my mom, with her addiction and everything like that. I ultimately graduated and I went to school to get an MSW. I went to UGA, go Bulldogs, and I got a master's in social work. And then I started doing internships where I was helping other women, drug addiction, homelessness, all of that. And guess what? It turned into a love and a purpose and a passion in my life to ultimately help women succeed. I would not have, though, figured out my purpose in life, which is to help other women succeed and thrive in their life, had I not been so vigilant about helping my own mother get off of drugs. And so you may be going through some things or you've seen some things, you'd be like, oh my God, I hate that. That makes me so angry. And you're looking for somebody else to do the thing that you should be doing, that you are called to do. If it hurts you enough, then maybe it is your calling on life. Now, I'm not saying that everything that hurts us, we gotta, that's our calling in life. But I'm telling you, I've coached so many women through this one question right here, and it has revealed so much about what they were supposed to be doing. Question number 2, what are you great at? What is your biggest strength? AKA your superpower. Let me just tell you, you are phenomenal at something. Based on all my years of experience, that something that you're phenomenal at is rooted in your purpose in life. Okay, here's the thing. I've always been a talker. I can't help it. I've always been a talker. And I remember in high school, my English teacher, her name was Mrs. Anderson. That was my maiden name. So we really had a bond going on with each other. She came to me one day and she said, Kiki, you talk a lot. And I was like, Miss Anderson, I know. She said, listen, the Council for Prevention of Teen Pregnancy. Now, by this time, I had my first child at 17 years old. I'm in high school in the 11th grade and I have a baby. So she was like, you talk a lot. And I was like, I know. She said, but the prevention of teen pregnancy, they want you to go around to all of the schools in the county and talk about how difficult it is to become pregnant at such a young age. And I'm like, oh, why would I do that? Like, why would I do that? And she was like, well, if you do it, they will pay for your daycare. And I'm like, baby, sign me up. Like, first of all, any parents out there, any mothers, fathers, you know how hard it is. You know how difficult it is to pay for daycare. I'm 17. So it is extremely expensive to pay for daycare. And I still want to be in school and all those things. So I said, sign me up. So here's the thing that happened. When I was going around, now these are my peers. Y'all know how hard it can be to be around your peers. I'm a teenager. So it can be very, very brutal out there in high school. So any of y'all have high school students and stuff like that, y'all know, and you've been in high school yourself. So you know how brutal it can be. So I was super nervous, of course, to be able to go out to all these, and it was different schools. It wasn't just my school. It was different schools. And talk to sex education classes about the hardships of getting pregnant at such a young age, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, right? So I started doing it. And a funny thing happened. My peers started telling me how my story has truly affected them and changed their life. And I was like, really? So this gift of gab, that's what my mama used to call it. This gift of gab is actually helping people change their life? What? Like, huh? And so I realized that words truly do matter. Communication changes lives. So I started speaking using my words, my gift at 17 years old. And guess what? I'm still using my gift to pour into the lives of women every single day. And I've made a career out of it. And it's been beautiful. And so instead of me thinking of my gift of, gab, as my mom used to call it, me talking all the time was a negative, Miss Anderson single-handedly showed me how it was a positive. And then the very last question that I think can shed some light on your purpose is this one. When you were younger, what did you want to become when you grew up? What activities did you like back then? I know this may seem like a simple question, but I'm going to tell you, this question has unlocked so much for my clients. One client in particular, we met at a church function. We were just chatting it up. She was asking me what I did for a living. I told her I was an executive career coach. And she's like, oh my God, I need you because I need to, make some changes in my career. And I was like, okay, fine, great. Let's chat. She was in pharmaceutical sales. She was doing pretty good in terms of financial and everything like that, but it just wasn't her passion in life. It wasn't what she wanted to do. I said, so tell me, what is it that you wanted to be when you were younger? She said, I wanted to be a child psychologist. And I said, oh, a child psychologist, that's a big difference from pharmaceutical sales. She was like, yeah. And I said, okay, so tell me, where's that for you right now? Do you still want to be a child psychologist? She was like, child, no, I don't want to do nothing with no kids. I'm like, feel you. And I said, okay, that's fine. What about psychology though, in general? She's like, oh my God, I love psychology. I'd love to do something with psychology and people in the workplace and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to tell you, God is so good, because at that very moment, I was looking at a program to get my PhD in business psychology, which is also known as industrial organizational psychology, which is AKA you work as a psychologist with people in the workplace. So I said, well, have you ever heard of industrial organizational psychology? And she was like, no. I mean, AKA business psychology. She was like, no. I said, it's where you work with people as a psychologist in the workplace around different issues. She's like, oh my God. I got to get off the phone with you. I got to go talk to my husband. I got to, I got to go do some research and stuff like that. So long story short, she ended up doing her research. We ended up going into the same exact program to get our PhDs. And she now runs an amazing consulting firm where she works with employee engagement and diversity, equity, and inclusion. She completely changed her life all around. She did a 180 on her life based on this one question that I asked her in our coaching session. What did you want to be when you were younger? Y'all gotta understand, our past leaves clues. I was speaking even before I knew what speaking was. So I'm going to ask you, what did you want to be when you were younger? Because your past, it leaves clues. I'm not saying that your past dictates your whole future, but I am saying that it leaves clues. So there you have it. The 3 most important questions that will help you discover your purpose. Now, like I said, there is a whole list of questions. I call them the passion-driven and your purpose-driven questions that you can get by either downloading my book on Amazon called Get Courageous Now, A Woman's Guide to Finding Her Passions and Purpose in Life, or you can get a free chapter by going to drkiki.com and downloading it that way, where you can get the full list of questions. But these should get you started. So what's your homework? Your homework is to marinate on these questions, because I'm telling you, they can unlock so much of your purpose. They can unlock so much so that as you go into this new year, you understand why God has placed you on earth. And like I said before, you have to be walking in your purpose. There is not a scenario on this earth that you can't walk in your purpose. It's what you were meant to do. All right. So if y'all need further help, I'm here for y'all, right? I also have a community, but I coach you through this very thing. It's called Thrive Society. If you go to kikiramsey.com, you'll see all the information there. And then also, I am having a challenge. It's going to be a 3-day Discover Your Purpose challenge coming up. You can go to drkiki.com to find out all the information about that as well. I'm going to walk out through step by step. But this right here is just to get you started.